decided to watch the spectacular movie Jurassic Park. In this video, we are first going to be telling you briefly about the movie, and then we are going to inform you about 6 instances of technology that are being applied in the movie. Enjoy! Jurassic Park is an extraordinary film which involves the ethics of scientific discovery and experiments. The movie is about a wealthy Scottish entrepreneur and visionary named John Hammond, who owns a bioengineering firm called InGen. Dr. Wu and other scientists that John Hammond has recruited successfully cloned dinosaurs back to life by virtue of a breakthrough genetic engineering technology. John then converts Ísland Núplar, an island located near the coast of Costa Rica, into a wildlife park of de-extinct dinosaurs, so he could show the world the dinosaurs he created. This sensational park gets the name Jurassic Park. While John Hammond was trying to get things in operation, a workman was killed by a dinosaur, a Velociraptor to be exact, when they tried moving it into another enclosure. This unfortunate incident made John Hammond's investors nervous. In order to assure the investors that the park is in fact safe, John Hammond convinced some experts to unite and assess the park. He hastily invites paleontologist Alan Grant, paleobotanist Ellie Sattler, mathematician Ian Malcolm, the representative of InGen investors Atti Donald Gennaro, and Hammond's 2 grandchildren, Tin and Lexi, to explore and encounter the island in an endeavor to determine whether the park is safe enough to open for the public. Ian Malcolm expresses his skepticism towards the park. He is convinced that the park is a perilous place and will break down miserably. This group of visitors are of course astonished when they arrive at the park and discover that there are actually living dinosaurs among them. However, it doesn't take long for things to go wrong, starting with a catastrophic storm that takes place and then the power cutting off the island. One of the workers in InGen, named Dennis Nedry, who was responsible for running the programs, made a deal with a rival company biasing to steal the dinosaur embryos for a hefty payout. In order to steal the dinosaur fertilized embryos, he had to cut the power of the park. As a result, John Hammond and his visitors had to survive the park while dinosaurs were roaming free amongst them. Is it possible to bring dinosaurs back from the dead? And if it is, how close is modern science to making it a reality? The premise of the dinosaur's de-extinction in the film originated in the theory that a dinosaur's DNA can be extracted from a mosquito that had been trapped in amber, a fossilized tree resin, for millions of years. For this to materialize, the mosquito had to have consumed the blood of a dinosaur before it perished.
A DNA strand, like me, is a blueprint for building a living thing. And sometimes animals that went extinct millions of years ago, like dinosaurs, left their blueprints behind for us to find. We just had to know where to look. 100 million years ago, there were mosquitoes, just like today. And just like today, they fed on the blood of animals, even dinosaurs. Sometimes, after biting a dinosaur, the mosquito would land on the branch of a tree and get stuck in the sap. After a long time, the tree sap would get hard and become fossilized, just like a dinosaur bone, preserving the mosquito inside. This fossilized tree sap, which we call amber, waited for millions of years with the mosquito inside, until Jurassic Park scientists came along. Using sophisticated techniques, they extract the preserved blood from the mosquito and, bingo, dino DNA.
This theory that is shown in the film proposes that the dinosaur's DNA can be retrieved by the blood cells found in the mosquito. The DNA is transplanted into a reptilian egg, and with a little help from modifications which the lab provides, a dinosaur can be brought to life. However, in reality, the blood cells could be preserved in the fossils, but that doesn't necessarily mean that scientists can find DNA in it, and therefore cannot use its identity to bring a dinosaur back to life. The reason for this is because DNA molecules are extremely complex and vulnerable units that break down rapidly. Currently, the oldest DNA to have ever been found is about 1 million years old, which means that the DNA will have to be 66 times older to get the age of dinosaurs. That's because the Jurassic era dates back to around 200 million years, and all dinosaur species went extinct around 66 million years ago. Therefore, even if the insect is perfectly preserved in a fossil, there would not be enough genetic information to provide the extinction of dinosaurs.
Genetic engineering is the process of altering the DNA in a genetic structure of an organism. It involves changing one base pair in a DNA, deleting a row of DNA, introducing an extra copy of a gene, or extracting a gene from another species to an organism's genome. These methods of genetic engineering are used to enhance certain characteristics of an organism, to modify an organism, or increase population of an organism. The process of genetic engineering is quite complex, but it involves the insertion of foreign genes into plasmids that bacteria contain. Plasmids are tiny rings of DNA that are capable of mimicking protein synthesis and passing it on to its progeny. Scientists have already started using genetic engineering to clone animals. The first one was Dolly the sheep, which was cloned in 1996. They use a cloning method where they change the DNA in an embryo. Scientists are on the verge of recreating extinct species such as the woolly mammoth. They say this is very possible considering that DNA from the mammoth has been found frozen, which preserves the DNA very well. They would edit together elephant and mammoth DNA, then artificially inseminate an Asian elephant to carry this baby. This method, however, would not work with the dinosaurs, since they died out so many years ago that we can't find any DNA from them.
Paleontologist. A paleontologist is a scientist who is intrigued to know about the organic life that once was on Earth. He studies the fossilized remains of all kinds of organisms and therefore gets an insight on how life was millions of years ago. When making this film, the crew got some fossils and dinosaurs wrong. When Steven Spielberg made the 1993 film, paleontologists didn't know much about these creatures. Only a few skeletons existed in the fossil record. Since then, however, researchers have found a dozen more skeletons and start to research more closely, getting more insight into what these dinosaurs were actually like. Research revealed that the Dilophosaurus, one of the dinosaurs seen in the movie, was far bigger than its Hollywood counterpart, reaching lengths of 20 feet and weighing extremely much. It also didn't have that dreadful poisonous spit. Instead, it used its powerful big jaws to rip into the other dinosaurs. A lot of paleontologists get very, very upset when watching this movie, but we've got to give it to Spielberg for the fun we experience while watching the movie.
Fossils. Fossils are a trace or a hint of creatures or plants from another geological age. The fossils have been preserved in the Earth's crust. Finding these fossils has given us a lot of information about past life on Earth. Dinosaurs' fossils have been found all over the world. Without fossils, we would not know what the dinosaurs looked like. We would not even know that they existed. They only created female dinosaurs. In the movie, the scientists claimed that all of the dinosaurs they created were female and therefore they could not breed on their own.
Actually, they can't breed in the wild. Population control is one of our security precautions. There's no unauthorized breeding in Jurassic Park.
And how do you know they can't breed?
Oh, because all the animals in Jurassic Park are female.
However, the visitors find evidence proving that the dinosaurs have been providing offspring. How is this possible? In the movie, it is stated that some genes from the dinosaurs were lost and they had to replace it with the frog version of those genes. This particular frog gene made it possible for the dinosaur to switch sex and as a result breed. This is an extremely complicated mechanism that requires cooperation of multiple genes. With that being the case, it is very unlikely that this occurs in reality. However, like Ian Malcolm said, life always finds a way.
Life, finds a way.
There is no doubt that the film was groundbreaking for its use of computer animation in tandem with animatronics and paleontology. The way that Tippett's film crew built an animal that no human being has ever seen as realistic as possible is astonishing. Despite the false and bizarre depictions of the dinosaurs, they were probably the best depictions that had ever been done up until that time. The movie clearly shows that the crew used every bit of dinosaur knowledge they had to give us the best experience, and it astounds me that they did it in tune with what state of science was at that point. In the movie, we can see that the big scary T-Rex had really bad vision, and the only way to escape from it is to not escape at all. Rather than running from it, the islanders sat completely still whilst trapped in a car and did nothing. That way, the T-Rex couldn't see them due to poor eyesight, and the islanders managed to escape.
Don't move! You can't see us if we don't move.
This, of course, is not the case, because the T-Rex apparently had perfect vision, so you wouldn't be able to hide from it. Computer modeling has also shown that the T-Rex could notch up a speed much faster than 20 kilometers per hour, but the movie clearly states otherwise, when we see the scary creature chase the islanders in one of the many breathtaking scenes in the movie. In conclusion, a real-life Jurassic Park cannot be made since they went extinct more than 65 million years ago. Even though we are able to clone and even recreate extinct animals, cloning the dinosaurs is not even close to becoming a reality. And if it was possible to recreate the dinosaurs, we think it would be exciting to see the outcome, especially after watching the movie.